All right, crew. So we're gonna go to Silver City this weekend. Tonight we're prepping some of our food. Tomorrow night we want to have hobo pies, which is bacon for us, some ground beef, and then some vegetables. We're gonna wrap it all up in aluminum foil. We're actually gonna cook it tonight so that when we go, all we have to do is heat it up. So that way we don't have a ton of time in prep and waiting for it to cook for dinner tomorrow. But before we get started, I'm going to make a seasoning that we can put on the hobo pie. So I want to kind of show you guys what I do for this seasoning. So we're going to have a base of sea salt, the kosher salt. I guess it's not sea salt, but kosher salt. Fine ground black pepper, some red pepper flakes, onion powder, garlic powder, a little paprika, a little bit of white ground pepper, and then also a little bit of ground mustard. So the ratio is kind of up to you. Like I said, the base is salt, so I'm going to kind of show you how much I put in there. We're going to have leftover. This is not all going in. Actually, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to make the hobo pies for tomorrow, but we're also going to make hobo pies for ourselves for dinner tonight. So I'll be able to show you when we're done with that process what that ends up looking like and hopefully what it tastes like. We'll do like the YouTube taste division. So again, we have ground black pepper. Just gonna put it in like that. Let's throw some pepper flakes in there. Ooh, that's a lot. We'll do onion powder. A little bit of that. We'll do garlic powder. I like garlic quite a bit, so we'll hit that pretty heavy. We'll do ground paprika. Now this is not the smoked paprika, this is just the regular paprika. Tasty. We're just going to do a little bit of the white pepper, kind of like the background that gives. And then also just a little bit of the mustard seed, ground mustard seed. So I'm going to take a fork, we're just going to mix that all up. Good mix, get it all kind of integrated like that. And bam! We have our own homemade seasoning here. So we've got that made up. I'm kind of prepping the rest of the ingredients. Once all those are ready, we'll run through making a hobo pie and how that looks. Then we'll throw them in the oven, we'll cook them up, and then we'll eat them. Hopefully it's tasty. We'll see you guys in a bit. We're prepped. So what do we got here? Bacon, and you can see the bacon, I've partially cooked it just to render out some of the fat. If you don't do that, especially with this thicker cut bacon, it's just way too much fat. So we got bacon, that's going to be our base layer. And we've got some ground beef over here. We're going to layer that either on top, or I might actually put some onions in between to try to get the flavors come through. We've got pre-cooked sliced potatoes. So those are nice. You can use just kind of fresh potatoes, but they are going to take longer to cook. I also have the canned French green beans. Again, you can use fresh ones, but they're going to take a little bit longer. One thing that I did do that's a little gourmet is I had some Brussels sprouts in the fridge, so I cut those up, and in some of the remainder of the bacon grease, I just browned them up a little bit. No salt, nothing else on them, just there in the bacon grease. I also have some sliced mushrooms, also from a can. Again, this is something you can do fresh, but it just takes a little bit longer. The reason I do it this way is usually actually I cook these in the coals. Like when we go backpacking, I freeze them, and then on the trip I pull them out and let them thaw, and then we cook them in the coals. And so when you do it this way with the canned veggies, you're not waiting on the veggies to cook all the way through with burnt meat. So it just ends up working out pretty well. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to take some bacon, and we're going to lay it out like this. Try to get some full coverage. And that's actually probably good. That's half slices of bacon, so 2 slices of bacon. I'm going to throw, because this one's for me, I like onions. A lot of other folks here don't in the house, so they'll make theirs however they want. But I'm going to throw some onions on there. like so. Then for this one, I don't think a lot of people are going to go for the Brussels sprouts, so I will, because it sounds kind of fun. And I'm just going to put them in just like that. Now one thing you're going to want to watch out for is, like, you can pick really any vegetable you want, but root vegetables kind of work best because they don't expel all of their juices. So like something like a zucchini or squash, whatever, wouldn't be so hot because as it cooks, it's going to drop all those juices out and then everything's going to get super soggy. So pick things that kind of either retain their water content or don't have a ton of water content in there. I love potatoes, so I'm going to do potatoes like that. Ooh, wow, I lost the one. Sorry, pre-season. All right. And then I actually do like mushrooms as well, so I'm going to throw some mushrooms on there. Nice and easy. Like so. And then I'm just going to grab some beef. I'm going to make a patty out of it. Just like this. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. I want it to cook, but I also want it to cover this whole section of bacon and veggies that I got on there. And actually, I'm gonna season this part here a little bit. I'm gonna season the beef. Plop it down just like that. Bam, don't have to be super fancy. I'm gonna season the top again, just like so. Boom. Now, when you put this together, you can do it in a variety of ways. But one way my older brother showed me when I was growing up was to take the aluminum foil and roll it down like this. That way you create a seal so that any steam that kind of develops in there actually stays in there. So I'm going to roll it up this way, just like that. Roll it up. Like so, and so we have a nice little square. Now, particularly if you're going to be cooking in coals, it's important to have enough aluminum foil on there to protect it. If you're going to be flipping it, you don't want it to puncture a hole in that and have all your juices come out. So I always wrap mine in 2 layers. This is also heavy-duty aluminum foil. So I'm going to try to do it across from this one. So knowing that the kind of seal is going to come this way, I'm going to line that up perpendicular to it. And just do essentially the same thing. Bring them together. And rub it down. And this one I'm not going to be super careful about. I'm just going to kind of roll it as best I can. These ones are going in the oven, so it doesn't really matter all that much how nice and tight they are. There we go though, nice little package. So as far as cooking goes, we're going to throw them in the oven at 375 for about 35 to 45 minutes. You're going to go a little bit longer if you have fresh veggies. So if you have like those potatoes, fresh potatoes, sliced potatoes, if you do, carrots, that sort of thing, you want to go just a little bit longer because you're going to want to be able to cook all the way through those veggies so they're nice and tender. We probably won't have to go much more than the 30-35 minutes. So we've got a bunch more of these to make. I gave everybody the option to make one of these tonight for dinner as well as one for tomorrow. I didn't think a lot of people would bite. Everybody bit. So we've got 10 of these bad boys to make, 9 more. So we'll do that. We'll throw them in the oven. We'll get them cooked, and then we'll have a follow-up in just a little bit how they turn out. Hopefully good. I always do that. Fingers crossed. Bada bing, bada boom. I think they're done. So let's see here. Alright, looks like dinner. Put it back in. Let's open it up and see what we got. Let's see what we can do from here. This one. Alright, there we go. It smells good. I smell it coming through. Imagine how hard it is to open this thing up. Come on over there. We got this guy going. Here we go, here we go. Oh, we're getting so close, we're getting so close. Oh, that smells so good. All right, I'm gonna move this over to the plate. Here we go. Looks tasty. See that steam coming off? Got that bacon cooked underneath. The patty up top. All of our taters, our veggies, everything else inside there. Let's kind of, hopefully this is cooked all the way through. Should be. Let's try to bite. Let's get mushroom in there and let's have a bite. That's killer. Let's get some veggies in there. The onion's still a little crispy, a little crunchy. That seasoning that we made earlier is perfect. It's fantastic. So there's our hobo pies. We're going to eat dinner tonight. We all made one. And then we're going to have one for tomorrow that we're going to take with us on the trip. So pull those all out, get them ready to go, and we'll set them up in the fridge to be ready for tomorrow.